Hi everyone, this is Grace, and today I'm going to walk you through how I made this beginner Christmas wreaths set. So let's go. Y'all, that's hard to say, wreaths. I've had to say that quite a few times now because I made 2 classes on Christmas wreaths. It just sounds weird. It just feels weird, you know? Anyway, so this is my beginner Christmas wreath class. I have an advanced one as well. This one uses my tried and true 1 consistency outline and flood. I use my thick flood. We are keeping it incredibly simple with just 3 colors: red, green, and white. When I can come up with an entire set of beautiful, gorgeous designs with just 3 colors, it always makes my heart very happy. And this is no exception. So, we're actually using a donut cutter here. I agonized over what kind of cookie cutter to use. Should I just use a circle? Should I use a donut? Should I use an actual wreath cutter? I knew actual wreath cutter was out of the mix because those are just weird looking. They're like too specific. A lot of them have bows made into them, which I just don't like. You'll see I only did bows on 2 of the cookies. No, sorry. I didn't do bows on any of the beginner ones. My mistake. I ended up with the donut because it's still just a 3-inch circle, which I always do a 3-inch circle for any of my any of my circle classes, circle sets. I did the cutout because I feel like it just makes this a little bit easier to recognize as a wreath, especially for a couple of the designs that I'll point out. They're just easier to execute when there's already a cutout in the center. Now, you don't have to have a cookie cutter with a cutout in the center. Like, I have a donut here. You can also do this yourself. You could cut out the center with a piping tip or like a water bottle cap, anything that's like around 1/2 inch, give or take. No, sorry, not 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch? Or is it 0.75? Somewhere in the region of a 1/2 inch to 0.75 if you're using a 3-inch circle. Yeah, so this is one of the design. If you're going to use a circle without a cutout in the center, you can flood the entire cookie except for a couple of the designs. This is one of those because really the design element to it is this prominent outline, which I think is really fun to see on the outside and in the center. Normally, when you do a 1 consistency outline and flood, you outline and flood immediately. But in this case, as you can see, we let it dry. And this is intentional because you want to see that chunky outline on the outside. Normally, you don't want to. Normally, this is very undesirable for this look, but it's very intentional in this case. And I just love the effect. Like, it just makes my heart very happy. Oh, man. So satisfying to watch this. Okay. As far as the colors go, it's red straight out of the bottle. It's leaf green straight out of the bottle. And I use a little bit of white for the white. I kept it super simple here. You'll see in the advanced class that we have more fun with the greens and the red. But for my beginner classes, I always like to make it really straightforward. So this is a little wet on wet polka dot, but it's like an uneven, funky polka dot situation. And you'll see we'll do a second layer of uneven, funky polka dots. This is a much more forgiving approach for polka dots because if you're trying to make them all look exactly the same and in a very like uniform pattern, it's a lot harder than you might think. Now, that did dry for about 30 minutes, and now we're going on with a second layer of these white polka dots, and the key here is to overlap some of them with the red underneath. That's going to give you this really funky, uneven look. Love this for us. And that is the first, no, is that the first one? Sorry, that's the second one. There are 7 designs in this set. The advanced one has 6. Outlining the center is definitely the hardest part, not gonna lie. Especially in the advanced class, as I was outlining the very center, I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, shit, what was the donut cutter the right choice, or should I have just done a circle? But the ship had already sailed on that one, and I was deep into my donut journey. This cookie cutter is from Brighten Cutters. It's a small business based out of California, woman owned. Love to support my small businesses. But I do always provide Amazon alternatives in the workbooks. Okay, this starts out actually, no, I lied. I'm sorry. I was going to say this is the same as the Beginner Christmas, but this is not. This is the Beginner Christmas, but then I'm adding some extra lines for extra funsies. I love how forgiving the wet on wet wreath designs are, like truly, and you can have so much fun with them doing V, line, circle, zigzag. Like you'll see we do a bunch of them in this set. The first one was, what was the first one? The first one was just lines, I think. I don't remember. You probably remember. It's truly much more forgiving than you might think. This one, so I'm doing this is what I call like the most classic design of all of the ones in this set. As you can see, I like to do the like more traditional, realistic ones, and then I like to add in some funky, abstract designs. Now you could leave this as is, but because I am Crackle obsessed, I just had to throw Crackle on it. I don't know. I felt like it made it a little more interesting, a little more dimension to it. There are 2 cookies in this set that I crackle. You don't have to crackle any of them. You can leave it alone. No crackle needed. But you know what? It made me happy. It's just so satisfying to watch. A lot of people think that there's like sound to the crackle. I promise you there isn't. If there is, it has to be amplified by like 1,000, I don't know, to be able to hear whatever's going on. And I never try to capture the sound anyway because I always have my dehydrator in the background and all you can hear is the hum of the dehydrator and that's it. Whenever I'm putting designing a set, I always like to make sure that I have a good balance of colors, and a lot of that comes from the colors that the cookies are flooded in. So in this case, there are 7 designs. There are 2 in green, 2, am I counting this? Yeah, 2 in green, 2 in red, and 3 in white. I always want to make sure, like, I don't want to do, unless it's intentional, I don't want to flood everything in white. I don't want to flood everything in red or green. Like, I want there to be a visual balance. It also helps with just, like, preparing the icing to have kind of a balance of colors. Okay, this is the zigzag approach, which is way more forgiving than you might think. Just the most important thing is that you do the zigzags kind of wide enough so that there's room to do the white in between, like so. Really pretty simple. This is one of my favorite ways to do wreaths personally. And then take your scribe and just pull right through the center of it. Now for this one, I just pull around once. Do I? Yeah. For the other designs, I pull around more than once. I don't know. This just makes sense to me. Okay, this one, oh, this is the other kind of funky one. Now, with the first green one with the like scalloped border, that was a very even scalloped border or outline. This one, though, is supposed to be funky. It's a little wonkiness to it. And in this case, we're going in immediately and flooding it. It's really important that you don't go all the way to the edge, even with this outline, to give the icing some space to naturally spread out. Like so, give it a good jiggy jig. And then we're doing this similar like wonky polka dots, but the difference with this one is that we're going to do the second layer of dots immediately instead of waiting, because guess what? This one's going to be crackled. Love me some Crackle. So as you can see, again, here, the key is to overlap some of the dots, make them all different sizes. There's no real rhyme or reason to where I'm placing them, just kind of going for it. And then once you're done, you want to wait about 10 to 20 minutes. Apparently I'm not done yet. There we go. To crackle. Now, a couple of tips for crackling. First of all, you want to make sure you're cracking the surface, not puncturing it. You'll know if you're puncturing it if you have icing on the end of your tool. If it looks more like an indent, it just hasn't dried enough. You really want to make sure it is cracking that top layer of icing. And then make sure you connect the cracks. You don't want them to be like polka dots. You want one crack to like connect with the last one, if that makes any sense. And don't go all the way to the edge, because if you go too close to the edge of the icing, you're going to like ruin the edge. But you can just like stick it back together with your finger. You'll know what I mean when it happens, okay? All right, this next one. So, sidebar in my life journey, I've recently learned that I am gluten sensitive. And so I've started to tweak my cookie recipe to be gluten-free. And y'all, I think I might actually like my gluten-free recipe better than my regular recipe. Who knew? Now, it does heavily depend on the kind of flour you use. And I've definitely found the best kind of flour, gluten-free flour for sugar cookies. It is expensive, but it is so worth it. Y'all, stunning. Okay, this one I think, yeah, this starts the same as the classic. Obviously, different color combination here. It's always a little hard. Like, Christmas is red and green, but red and green are on opposite sides of the color wheel. When combined together, they make brown. And so visually having them next to each other, especially if you kind of don't have quite the right shade of each, can be a little jarring. So yeah, I'll just say that. This design works because the main like color overlap is the white and the green, and that looks really nice together. That first design I did with the red base and the green lines, I really tried to do like a lot of green lines, so that really stood out. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Anyway, this is just, I've done these kind of tropical flowers in other beginner sets, and I decided to add them to this wreath, which is just a fun, different way to add some flowers, add a little like flower berry situation, which is very commonly seen in wreath designs. I think this is the last one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay. This one is a real stretch. But it was just a design that came to me, and I was like, you know what? This is fun. I'm just going to try it and see what happens. Okay. The key here is to do the green lines as centered as possible and as tight as possible, with still leaving room to do the red dots. And you'll see when I start using the scribe why, because you want as much room as possible on like the outsides of the lines, not in the center of them. You just need enough room to do these red dots. So even alone, like, I don't know, I didn't think about this. You could just leave it like this. It looks kind of cool. Well, maybe it doesn't. Okay. Now you're just going to go in and out, in and out. And this is why you need room on either end of the line, because you have to do this curve in and out, like so. Just one continuous pull. It's important that you have the number of dots that I do here, however many that is, so that you finish it just like that. I think it's an even number. If you have an odd number, then you can't like make it one continuous line, if that makes sense. And that is it. That is my beginner Christmas wreaths class. Go check it out on my website. It's linked in the description. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. As always, Hope you learned a thing or two. Maybe you fell asleep. Love that for you. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.